What would you do if a stranger bought you a coffee and then left a note that changed your life forever? For Noah, a simple act of kindness spirals into a terrifying mystery as he discovers he's being watched by a powerful, hidden organization with cryptic messages, eerie encounters, and an unsettling feeling that something's not right. Noah's pulled in a dangerous game he never asked to play. But as the stakes get higher and the truth unfolds, Noah must decide, will he join the shadows or fight for his life and the lives of those he loved? The clock is ticking, and one wrong move could cost him everything. Noah's morning is like any other. He steps into the cozy local cafe, the smell of fresh coffee and pastries filling the air, the chatter of customers, the soft of the espresso machine, and the quiet clink of cups create an ordinary calming atmosphere. It's the perfect moment of peace before the busy workday ahead. He orders as usual, cappuccino and slice of lemon pound cake, and settles into corner by the window. His mind is already drifting toward the tasks awaiting him, oblivious to what's about to disrupt the routine. As he sips his coffee and scrolls through his phone, man in his mid-30s enters, dressed casually in faded jacket and jeans. He moves with quiet confidence. The man orders his own coffee, then, to Noah's surprise, pays for his drink as well. The stranger offers a slight smile nod and walks out of the cafe without saying a word. Noah, puzzled but appreciative, glances down at the table, only to find a small note left behind where the stranger had sat. A note, written in neat but hurried handwriting, simply reads, "You're being watched." He raises an eyebrow, unsure whether it's prank or something more sinister, but the uneasy feeling that follows settles in the pit of his stomach like the first hint of storm on the horizon. As he pushes the note aside, he tries to shake the feeling of something being off. The strange moment lingers, and as Noah steps out of the cafe, he can't shake the feeling that he's being watched. Noah tries to dismiss the strange note as a simple prank, but the lingering feeling of being watched refuses to leave him. Later that day, he notices something odd as he walks down the street. His eyes briefly meet those of a woman sitting in a cafe across the road. She looks away quickly, but the glance is enough to make him pause. It's as if she was waiting for him. Shaking it off, he heads home, trying to focus on his work. That evening, as Noah relaxes on the couch, his phone buzzes with an unexpected message. The sender is unknown, and the message is brief. "Did you see him? He's closer than you think." His pulse quickens. The hairs on the back of his neck stand up. He tries to rationalize it. Maybe it's wrong number, another prank. But it's the second unsettling thing to happen that day. It feels deliberate. Later that night, as he's about to drift to sleep, he hears faint noise, scraping sound coming from outside his window. He rushes to check but sees nothing. The dark shadows outside seem to loom little longer than usual, as if something is hiding just out of sight. He dismisses the moment as paranoia, but the unease remains thick and palpable in the air around him. His world is beginning to feel a little too small, a little too heavy, as if the walls are closing in. Noah's anxiety continues to mount. He can't stop thinking about the strange note and the cryptic text. Every little noise in his apartment makes him jump. Every passing glance from stranger feels loaded with meaning. Something is wrong, but he can't quite grasp what it is. The world around him feels unfamiliar, like shifting landscape where nothing stays constant. A following day, Noah returns to the cafe, hoping to find something that might explain the stranger's odd behavior. He takes seat where he had sat the previous morning, scanning the crowd for anything out of the ordinary. Just as he's about to leave, he notices a man in the corner watching him closely. The man's eyes lock with his, and Noah feels chill run through him. He tries to shake it off, but can't ignore the feeling of being under constant surveillance. That night, Noah receives another mysterious message. "Stop looking. You don't want to know what's coming." He begins to feel the weight of the situation settling in. This isn't just some harmless prank. Something is out there watching him, waiting for him to unravel the truth. The warning only serves to deepen his unease. Noah knows he can't ignore this anymore. He starts looking into the strange figure who had bought him coffee, tracing his steps. But the more he digs, the darker the trail becomes. The tension is palpable as Noah's investigation takes darker turn. He begins to receive more unsettling messages, each one more cryptic than the last. Late one evening, his phone rings. The voice on the other end is garbled, distorted, but unmistakably urgent. "Stop looking. It's not too late yet, but it will be if you don't back off." The voice hangs in the ear like warning, sending cold shiver down Noah's spine. Noah can't shake the feeling that he's already too deep in, but his curiosity propels him forward. He's learned that the man who gave him the note, stranger who disappeared into the crowd, is tied to something far more dangerous. The man's identity is hidden, but Noah manages to find lead. An old address linked to group that operates in the shadows, secretive organization with its own dark agenda. As he tries to piece things together, Noah's world becomes increasingly fractured. Strange occurrences multiply. He hears footsteps outside his door when no one is there. He notices unfamiliar cars parked near his building, always in the same spots. The world around him feels as though it's closing, and the lines between reality and paranoia blur. He tries to reach out to friends, but they all seem distant, distracted, as if someone or something has subtly isolated him. Noah feels completely alone, consumed by growing fear. Noah can no longer ignore the growing unease gnawing at him. His investigation has led him to dead ends and cryptic clues, but he can feel the pull of something deeper, more sinister. Desperation sets in as he begins to follow the few leads he's uncovered. The address he found takes him to a dilapidated warehouse on the outskirts of town. The building is worn and abandoned, but Noah feels as though he's being drawn in. Inside, the air is thick with dust and decay, the remnants of place long forgotten. He finds nothing but shadows and silence, but as he's about to leave, he hears the faintest sound, scrape of metal against concrete. His heart races as he spins around, but no one is there, just the emptiness of the warehouse staring back at him. Noah returns to his apartment with nothing to show for his search, but sense of foreboding continues to tighten around him. That night, he stumbles upon disturbing detail while scrolling through the research he's gathered. Series of people, all of whom seem to have vanished under mysterious circumstances. Each one had connection to the same group he's been investigating. They were all watched just like him. The more Noah uncovers, the more he realizes that his life has been silently manipulated, his every move orchestrated from the shadows. Noah is no longer questioning whether he's being watched. He knows he is. As the paranoia sets in, he starts noticing more and more subtle threats. The shadows outside his windows seem darker than before, and the creaking sounds in his apartment now feel deliberate, as though someone is moving just out of sight. He can't ignore the feeling that something or someone is always lurking just beyond his reach. One afternoon, he receives a package at his door with no return address. Inside, he finds a set of photographs. Images of himself taken over the past few days. Some are from places he's been, others are from moments when he thought he was alone. There's no way anyone could have been so close to him without him noticing. He flips through the photos until one stops him cold. Picture of him taken while he was in the warehouse. His heart races as the full weight of the situation settles in. Someone has been following him for longer than he realizes, and their reach is wider than he thought. He tries to push the fear aside, but it's impossible. The walls of his apartment feel like they're closing in, and the world outside seems increasingly hostile. As Noah continues his search, he begins to understand that whoever is behind this isn't just watching. They're waiting for him to make a mistake. Noah's investigation takes a surprising turn when, one evening, he crosses paths with a woman named Mrs. Ellison. She's older, with sharp eyes that seem to see through him. They meet in the park while he's trying to make sense of the latest clue. Strange symbol he found in one of the photographs. Mrs. Ellison approaches him, her movements deliberate, and she warns him that he's in over his head. She claims to know about the organization that has been watching him, revealing that she too was once involved with them. The more she speaks, the more Noah feels both sense of dread and glimmer of hope. For the first time in weeks, he feels like he's not entirely alone in this. Mrs. Ellison shares that she's been hiding for years, keeping low profile after narrowly escaping the organization's grasp. She tells him that they've been monitoring him ever since the stranger bought him that coffee, recognizing something in him that they want to exploit. But she's not just here to warn him. Mrs. Ellison offers her help, saying that she knows how to fight back against the organization. However, she insists that he must follow her instructions without asking questions. Noah's torn. Can he trust her, or is she another piece of the puzzle designed to manipulate him? Noah, now working alongside Mrs. Ellison, begins to unravel the last pieces of the mystery. They've discovered that the organization, far from being a shadowy group of random individuals, is a powerful and dangerous network with far-reaching influence. Their goal is to manipulate people like Noah, those who unknowingly possess certain vulnerability that makes them susceptible to control. Mrs. Ellison has managed to escape their grip, but she's not naive enough to think that they won't come after her again. The pair finds themselves in an abandoned building, the walls echoing with the sounds of distant footsteps. They're not alone. Noah's pulse quickens, and the weight of what he's about to face settles in. Mrs. Ellison urges him to stay focused, but Noah knows that the moment they've been working toward is finally here. He's about to come face to face with the people who have been pulling the strings from the shadows. As they move deeper into the building, figure steps into their path. One of the men who has been watching him all along. Noah's heart races as he realizes that this is no coincidence. This is the person who has been orchestrating everything, and now it's clear that he's been leading Noah toward this final encounter all along. The men smirk, saying that they've been waiting for him, and the chilling truth hits Noah. He was never meant to uncover the truth. He was meant to play his part in their game. Noah stands at a crossroads. The truth is laid bare before him. The organization that has been manipulating him, watching his every move, is not just a criminal syndicate. Its vast, powerful network with roots stretching deep into society. The man who's been orchestrating his life's events now reveals the final twist. Noah was never a mere bystander. He's been part of the organization's plan all along, key player in their larger scheme, though he never realized it until now. The figure in front of him speaks coldly, laying out the consequences of defying the organization. If Noah refuses to join them, the price will be steep. His life, his freedom, and the safety of those he cares about. But if he agrees to cooperate, he will be given access to power beyond his wildest dreams. It's a tempting offer, but Noah knows it comes with cost, the price of his soul. With Mrs. Ellison by his side, Noah faces the ultimate choice. walk away and disappear into the shadows forever, or take stand, defy the organization, and fight for his life and the lives of others, knowing full well that doing so could mean his death. As the confrontation escalates, Noah's mind races. The organization's grip on him has been suffocating, but it's not just about survival anymore. It's about taking control of his destiny. With every choice he's made step closer to reclaiming his freedom, but at what cost? The story ends on Razor's Edge, leaving viewers questioning what happens next and what Noah's decision will truly mean for his future.